long-distance market requires non-market institutions to create them. Markets aren't self-creating, self-stabilizing, self-regulating, or self-determining. Number two, the main locus of legitimate government remains in the nation-state. Even though there are various modes of governments that go beyond the nation-state, these are weak and likely to remain weak on their own as they can only support a limited version of globalization. And problem number three is that different nation-states have different preferences over the shape these institutions of governance ought to take. And this diversity is completely natural, and a unique form of governance cannot be globally harmonized. He then focuses on the political trilemma of the world economy. Roderick is thinking about the future of globalization. As a way of plotting out possible scenarios, he identifies a stylized international trilemma for the world economy. Roderick argues that countries can choose a maximum 2 out of the 3 following options: democratic politics, national sovereignty, and international economic integration. Roderick's proposition is that this kind of deep economic integration implied by globalization requires the removal of the transaction costs that arise when transactions cross international borders. Nation-states are the big driver of these costs. They produce sovereign risk and regulatory discontinuities at the border, and they also make it difficult to agree on global standards and regulations. One solution to this problem is to do away with nation-states completely, Roderick global federalism in the above diagram, and align global markets and global politics with global rules and regulations. The second option is to forfeit full economic integration to allow space for variation in national policies. In the diagram, this is represented by the post-World War II Bretton Woods Compromise, which is through the use of capital controls, these countries try to maintain national markets for capital. The third solution seeks to combine the nation-state and full economic integration by donning fisherman's golden straight jacket at the expense of democratic choice. Here, economic policy making is taken out of the political sphere, which is one way of thinking about independent central banks and independent fiscal agencies. In practice, of course, the dividing line need not be so clear. Central banks still need to factor political accountability into their decision making. My criticisms of this book are, although this book is a very interesting take on the world's economy, I would only encourage people to read it if they have a forehand knowledge of this field, as he uses very technical terms, and sometimes the reader feels like they are reading a course textbook which can be dull at parts. My criticism about his theory is that, as I thought about his trilemma further, I realized in the past 50 years has been an era of rapid globalization and an era where democracy rule has been greatest. This in some ways contradicts his theory of the trilemma. And my second criticism is that Roderick easily says, oh, we can do away with nation states, but I don't think it's that easy as it's said. Nation states are important for people mostly because that is how people identify themselves, that is the culture people have become associated with, and doing away with them cannot be such a sudden process. Any questions?
Christina.
Do you agree with his proposition that markets are not self-creating and cannot be self-regulating?
Yeah, I agree to some extent, because some markets, like, even in the world today, like, you have to subsidize and you have to, like, subsidize some farmers, and so that way the markets aren't self-creating.
Anybody else?
How do you
Rachel.
compare it to CIM? Like,
Well, like, this is one of the most critical issues in management, how to, like, interact with different countries and interact with different boundaries and follow their rules and regulations.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Right, well, we turn this off now. Yeah.